Here, basically, I wrote down everything that you guys need to know. We'll start off on point one, right? So my price action strategy, which is place support and resistance on a daily time frame, which is a black horizontal line. So we'll go back here, go into the daily, and see what we get. Now, obviously, I already have these zones marked off, but just keep in the back of your head that the black lines are our daily zones of interest. So when I'm looking at zones of interest, I want to see and look for something like this. I want to look for something like this on a daily time frame. Obviously, if price were up here, here's also where I will place a daily zone. But then again, we're really far from that zone right now, so I'm not putting it there. Where else do I see it daily? I see rejection here. I see some form of price action here, rejection here, and currently rejecting this range here. So the next daily zone down here, we see a huge rejection area here. We see a breakout, we see a rejection, we see a support and support all throughout here. So that's basically the first step that you guys are going to do. Obviously, if you want to apply, Danke Paddy, if you want to apply my strategy. Now, what is the second step? Place support and resistance on the 4-hour time frame, purple horizontal line. So we go back, we go to the 4-hour. Now, what is the 4-hour telling us? Now, the 4-hour is telling us that in this range, we have some form of a resistance, right? Where we just close above and we're currently trading at. Obviously, now the 4-hour is together with the daily time frame. So this zone overall now has more power. And any trades that you take based off this zone are higher probability because we have the 4-hour and the daily acting together as one zone. Now, what else do we see? Down here, we see a bunch of rejections on a 4-hour time frame. We see that here it acted as a resistance, yesterday resistance, break and retest support in this range, right? So that's why I have my 4-hour zone here. And then the next step is place support and resistance on a 1-hour time frame, which is a blue horizontal ray or blue horizontal line. So we go down to the 1-hour, and now we place support and resistance on the one, which is the first one down here, resistance, break, retest, support. So this yesterday would have been a nice buy area. And then here as well, we have a form of a resistance and support build up here. So as long as price maintains above this zone, we could see another bullish impulse back into our daily and 4-hour range. And then what else do we want to see? Identify overall trend on higher time frames and the intraday trend. What is the higher probability play today? So this is why it's also so important to keep an eye on the higher time frames to identify the overall trend. So when we're looking at gold here, what do you guys think? Are we bullish or bearish here? Type it in the comments on the daily time frame, bullish or bearish? Bullish, bullish, bullish. Correct. Why is that? Now we did break structure here. So this was the last lower high, sorry. We created a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And this is our potential higher low area. Now, as long as price doesn't break this higher low here on the daily time frame, we are still in the bullish trend. So now that we identify that on the daily we are bullish, let's go down into the 4-hour and 1-hour and see what the market structure is doing here. Now, what is the 4-hour looking like? Bearish or bullish? Yeah, we got a bullish. Exactly. So when you identify that, daily bullish, 4-hour bullish, how about the 1-hour intraday? That's look bullish as well, right? So now you've identified the higher time frames and the intraday time frame, and all of them are working together and telling you bullish. So now when you do your pre-market analysis and you come into the market and you take notes of this, you should know that today the trade that you want to take of high probability will be with buys. So once you identify that, you need to say, okay, if I'm looking to take buys, where would I be looking to take buys? And now for that is what we have our zones here. Okay, if we stay above this range and we could hold here as a support, right? Then we could take buys on the support back up into this next resistance. Let's say price breaks all the way back down into the 1 hour support. If we can see a rejection here, we can take buys back up into this range. What happens if we see price come back down into the 4 hour support here? Then we could take buys back up into this range or maybe up into this range. Now, once we start breaking back under this major resistance range on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, the intraday trend will now be switching to bearish, from where we could also take advantage of short-term sells back down. But as of right now, the probabilities are still with the buys. So let's check out the next point here, which is wait for session open, right? Session already open at 8:30 EST. But ideally, you want to wait for the last 4 hour candle to close, which closes at 9 a.m. EST, which we also got already. So when we're looking at this, what I broke down earlier is this 4 hour candle here is very, very crucial. And if you are still unsure if the price is going to continue higher or lower, just wait for the 4 hour candle to close and show you the direction, because we did get a break of structure here again. We created a new higher high. We closed above resistance. We're currently respecting it as support, right? So that's why wait for that 4 hour candle to close. Now wait for price to reach one of your zones of interest. Currently at a zone of interest. Scale down to the 15 or 5-minute time frame and wait for an entry confirmation. Now, if you are unsure if price will respect or disrespect your zone of interest, wait for 1 hour candle to close. It's either going to close rejecting a confirmation for a change in the intraday trend, or it's going to close strongly above or below your zone, confirmation for continuation of the current trend. So as of right now, if we're looking at gold, we have the second point, which is it's going to close strongly above our zone, which is a confirmation for a continuation of the current bullish trend. And now when we go into the 1 hour time frame, we see the last 1 hour candle close strongly above our current zone. I hope you guys are following along so far. But I'm like spilling free sauce, you know what I mean? So yeah, we got a 1 hour candle closure above. Okay, now we are more sure about the fact that we want to be looking. Yeah, Piccolo. That we want to be looking for buys. So if the 1 hour candle rejects, wait for price to pull back into your zone of interest, which would be a bounce play setup, and get in on a 5-minute or 15-minute rejection or bearish bullish engulfing candle. We don't have scenario 9, we have scenario 10, which is if candle closes above, wait for pullback, which is a break and retest setup, and rejection on that zone to see if you can hold and continue the overall direction. So now we go down in the lower time frames and we see, okay, we did get a break under, took liquidity, but are currently back above support. I'm going to make a good teacher. I'm already a teacher, bro. That's what I love to do. But yeah, guys, we see we took liquidity to the downside, but we're back above support. Now, as long as we maintain and bounce along this range, we could definitely still take buys to the upside. Also, keeping an eye on the higher time frames. What is the 50-minute looking like? Look at this. Rejection candle. Another indication for bullish momentum. 30-minute time frame, rejection candle. 1 hour time frame, currently rejecting. You see? So that's why also switching between time frames from the 15, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour is also very important. Yeah, I'm giving free sauce here. This is gold, Rich. We're on gold here. So where was I? Yeah, basically repeat steps 1 to 10 every day. And that's it. Simple as that. So this is actually my trading strategy in a nutshell. No need to overcomplicate shit. Now, obviously, things like minor market structure on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute also plays a role here. Entry confirmations, rejection candles, all of that. Sometimes I also take entries based off fair value gap fills or inverted fair value gaps and so on and so forth. So obviously the strategy is a little more detailed than that, but that is the overall main structure of the price action strategy that I have. And that's what I've been refining for the last 3 years here. And it works for me. Obviously, just because it works for me doesn't mean it have to work for you, but it does work for me. Now, also keeping an eye on the news, very important, guys. Price action might show you like, yeah, I want to go this way and that way, but you always need to keep an eye on the news because at the end of the day, the news are the ones that are going to dictate what's going to happen in the market. So the very first thing that you guys should do and put in your trading plan, number one, right? Number zero, check the news for the day.